How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and majestical video here on the Savior channel. Now, I have to bring myself down to a somber tone a little bit today because I'm talking about Jacksepticeye's dad, who passed away very recently. This is a very difficult video to make because I'm not one of those scumbag YouTubers who wants to capitalize off of someone's loss and, someone who's going through a hard time. But I just feel like I really want to use Jacksepticeye's dad for a bigger example, and I'm not, no disrespect is meant, okay? Honestly, it's very sad, and, I really do wish him the best. Obviously, losing any loved ones is hard. I myself have lost loved ones. It's a horrible thing to go through, and I really do wish him well, and I just hope he's okay and he recovers from the loss. But I just really want to talk about the scumbags here on YouTube and Twitter, especially Twitter, okay? Because with Jacksepticeye's dad, who passed away, it really has shown me that the internet, yes, people can come together and they can be supportive and helpful. There's also a very dark underbelly, and that's just because humans always have scumbags, okay? They always have evil people out there in the world. But platforms like Twitter, and that's really what I want to talk about today, is Twitter, social medias, these dystopian technologies that just bring out the worst in humanity. So I really want to talk about Twitter and a little bit about Jacksepticeye's dad, who passed away, and just combine them together because both really impact each other. Now, also, I've also seen really disgusting things on YouTube, okay? Now, most normal people, if they hear about a celebrity or if they hear about anyone, even if you don't know them personally, who have lost someone who is going through a rough time, you would usually wish them well and just hope that they are okay. Genuinely, I hope you would actually feel it as a human, but even if you don't care, you should at least pretend that you care. But there are scumbags out here on the internet, on YouTube, and primarily on Twitter, because Twitter is a disgusting social media. The reason I want to talk about this, and I really didn't want to talk about this, but I just feel like I have to because not many people are talking about it, and it really needs to be called out, this type of behavior. Instead of people ignoring the fact that someone is going through a hard time or they've lost someone, that's kind of acceptable because, if you don't know them, you shouldn't really have to, care. But people going out of their way to make trouble and to actually make the person feel horrible and worse about the situation, and I'm just using Jacksepticeye's recent loss for this example. It's really disgusting to see because, Jacksepticeye, is a YouTuber, celebrity, whatever, he's pretty big, he's very famous, and not everyone likes him. That's fine, you don't have to like his content to, understand what he's going through. Losing someone is a horrible thing, but there are people out there on Twitter and on YouTube who actually go after these people who have lost or who have suffered and just make it worse. They deliberately go out there to get a bad reaction, and it really is disgusting to see, saying all these horrible things to Jacksepticeye and about his family. And, there are posts on Reddit that are, just targeting him to make him feel worse about the situation, and it really is just sad to see because there is always, of course, going to be an underbelly on these platforms that just want a nasty reaction. They just want to get a reaction. You could say that they're trolls, but this goes beyond trolling. Trolling is supposed to be, done with comedic effect. This is basically just really sick and unhappy people who just want to go out there and, if they hate someone, a certain person, a celebrity for example, they think maybe that it doesn't matter because they're super rich or something like that. They just have a vindictive and disgusting mentality, and they just want to go after these people to hurt them, even in a time of great loss, and that's really disgusting to see. And the worst thing that I've seen so far is on YouTube, those horrible calling up dead celebrities at 5 a.m. challenges. Well, it literally only took 2 days for YouTubers to start doing the same thing for Jacksepticeye's dad, and that really is just so disgusting. Imagine being such a low-life scumbag, pretending to call up someone's dad who recently just died. It doesn't matter if they're a celebrity or an influencer or whatever, it's just so disgusting to see, and it just really makes me sick that there are people out there. I mean, I know there's these horrible 4chan and Reddit groups and stuff like that. There's always disgusting people on the internet, but it just really makes me sad that as a culture we can't just come together and, you know, help other people. You know, there's a lot of people, especially on these social medias, that just want to bring people down, and this is the same situation that we are seeing with Jacksepticeye and, you know, Jacksepticeye's dad. It's just disgusting. You know, you don't have to like him as a person, but you shouldn't be going out of your way to make them feel worse and, you know, doing all these horrible and saying all these horrible things about the person who has passed away. I don't really like that saying, passed away, okay, but, you know, who died. And it's just very, very sad to see. And, you know, it's disgusting because, you know, they're just very sad, disgusting, sick people, okay? That's the problem with social media and technology, is if you put yourself out there, if you're a celebrity, a YouTuber, whatever, okay, you put yourself out there on the internet, and, you know, people can say whatever they want on the internet, and I'm not trying to censor speech, but there is a line, not where I'm calling for it to be censored, but it's just so sad and disgusting to see that people sink this low to, you know, make videos to try and get attention, to, you know, just make the person worse, feel worse, and, you know, bring them down. It's really sick to see, and especially here on YouTube, I really hate it. The worst thing that I really want to talk about is Twitter, okay? Twitter is disgusting. Twitter is evil. I really despise Twitter. I think Twitter is disgusting. I hate Twitter with a passion, okay? I don't know if you can tell that, but yes, I do. And, you know, the examples recently of them always trying to cancel people, Jacksepticeye's dad passing away, and a lot of these people sending him mean tweets, and, you know, words are just words, you know, I believe that, and I don't think you should censor speech, but it really is disgusting when someone has actually had a personal loss and is going through a crisis, and people are just out there to make it worse, just simply because they're vindictive and very sad people, and they just want to bring people down to their level. But that's the thing, these dystopian social media technologies, they promote this kind of behavior. You know, it's a disgusting thing to see. Twitter is a disgusting social media platform, okay? It doesn't promote discussion, it doesn't promote having conversations, having debates, okay? You know, it actually limits your speech into, you know, a small amount of characters that you are allowed to write, which therefore limits people's discussions and basically makes you very tribal and very stupid, and it just causes a lot of arguments. You know, Twitter is a cesspool full of toxic people, full of people just going back and forth, having arguments about things that don't matter. It's such a tribal thing. You know, if you believe in one thing, then another group will go after you. If you believe in something else, another group will come after you. Complete strangers who don't have any impact on your life, take an interest and care about what you believe because it clashes with what they believe in, and it's such a disgusting mentality to have. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, their own thoughts, and their own beliefs, but Twitter is a cesspool of strangers coming together, having toxic conversations, you know, basically making other people feel bad about themselves so they can feel better. Twitter doesn't encourage people to have actual big conversations and actual debates and share different opinions and ideas. It's got a very weird mob mentality to it, so if something happens, loads of strangers will come flooding onto your account where they will just have horrible things to say. I don't know anyone who uses Twitter who actually really enjoys it. There's all these horrible people on Twitter, and it's just sad because that really shows you the current state of humanity at the moment, because a lot of sad people are out there and a lot of them are using Twitter. And yes, you can use Twitter correctly, you can use it in a nice way, but a lot of people, it's like the early days of the internet, you know, where people can just say whatever they want. The thing with Twitter is usually people actually show their real pictures and their real identity, which then can cause all kinds of problems. But there are also these horrible people who make fake accounts so they can be the most disgusting and horrible people on the planet and say all these disgusting things. But just the platform itself, Twitter promotes people who are very tribal, okay? And if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all, okay? I think that's a very good saying. But Twitter, you know, it basically opens up the whole world so you can share your opinions with everyone. And funny enough, you know, not everyone has good opinions. A lot of people are stupid, okay? And that's just what it is at the end of the day. but people just want their opinions to be heard, so they go over to these social media platforms which have an agenda, which limit your speech, that, you know, they censor people all the time on Twitter. They only promote the people who say the right things, who follow their agenda, and then they cancel and censor everyone else. But then, because it limits your speech, and it has a very tribal mentality around Twitter about chasing after people and things that are trendy and things that are trending, you know, who might have said something slightly wrong, because words are now bullets in the modern day and age. It just promotes people to go after each other in a really personal way and attack complete strangers, and it's just a disgusting thing to see. And I think this example of, you know, Jacksepticeye and his sad loss, and really condolences to Jacksepticeye, you know, it's a sad thing and it's horrible to lose anyone, but it just shows you there is no limit of how much humans will go and sink just so they can attack each other. And, you know, these technologies give us that opportunity, especially now in these modern day times, especially now in these times where people aren't interacting in real life and we're all limited to these dystopian technologies. That's, you know, kind of the end goal of the master, you know, shaping of a new society. It's everyone using and interacting digitally, and then not actually having conversations, and just, you know, hunting each other down, because media and mainstream media is trying to divide people into different groups, so then people are constantly clashing, and it's just such a disgusting dystopian tech that I absolutely hate. Twitter serves no function, no purpose that I can see. It actually limits your conversations. You can't really have dialogue with people. Okay, so imagine this, my sinners, okay? Most conversations usually go with two people having a conversation. Maybe sometimes it's more than, you know, two people, it's three, it's four, it's five, it doesn't matter, okay? But usually other people aren't listening into your conversation, and then they can decide to walk up and join into your conversation, okay? Because they're not invited to the conversation. But Twitter and these social medias promote people to latch on to other people's conversations and other people's opinions, just so they can disagree and cause arguments and not have civil debate. Now, I can't all blame it on Twitter, okay? Yes, this social media is disgusting. It limits speech. It doesn't promote good debate and conversations. It promotes, you know, their own agenda. They cancel people. They censor people. They are pushing people to interact in a digital way, and they, you know, only follow their agenda of the mainstream media, and they want you to target other people who have different opinions. You know, all this stuff is disgusting with the social media, Twitter especially, because they, you know, are trying to social engineer people into thinking certain ways and limiting them in certain ways of speech, the correct way that they think, and it's a very disgusting thing, okay? But the real sick thing is humans, okay, aren't supposed to interact this way, okay? You know, if you have a conversation, not everyone in the world is supposed to see your private conversation, and because Twitter promotes this behavior, it obviously leads into a disgusting cesspool of toxic, you know, people interacting with each other constantly, and that's why Twitter is so bad, and that's why I hate Twitter. Twitter really is evil, and, you know, I'm very sad to say that, you know, even people who bring so much joy and positivity in the world, you know, I don't like Jacksepticeye's content, but he does do a lot of good. He's a very positive person. He's done a lot for mental health. He's done a lot for charities, but people still go out of their way to target him and bring him down, and, you know, just get a bad reaction from him just for attention, just to make him feel worse. And it's just so sad to see. And Twitter really is one of the biggest culprits, because it promotes this behavior constantly, and that's why you need to limit yourself from social media and these dystopian big tech companies and corporations, because they are just trying to social engineer you and making everyone interact digitally, which is, of course, shouldn't be a new normal for anyone, okay? That's all I have to say, my sinners. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash like and subscribe, and check out my other videos, and go down below and check out my music. Download it, support it. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.